Good morning and welcome to another edition of Roadhouse Live. We are live. Today is November 13, 2023. What you got to say about that, Stonkington?
November. November's good. I like November. We got Thanksgiving. That's a good one.
Thanks for Giving is a good one.
Ready?
I've always been a fan of the Thanks for Giving. I really, really have. Really have. So, Stonks, coming into the day today, I'm a little bit curious as to what kind of day we're going to have.
Yeah.
Nothing bad happened, which is always good, right? Um, Nothing really good happened, which is fine. And we have Biden set to meet with Xi and China and a bunch of data this week. Seems like, this big move that we had is going to be challenged a little bit by what comes out this week. You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah. I mean, I think that makes sense, right? We got the CPI, we got the PPI, we got unemployment, a lot of data.
A lot of data, a lot of data, a lot. And I believe we still have Fed speakers rattling off left, right, and sideways um, at the same time amongst all of this data. And it's not just us. It's like uh, Europe has data. Pretty much everybody has data week. This is like a moving week. Either we're going to justify where we're sitting, this run that we've had, or we're going to give some back. I don't know that there's really an in between. Earnings, for the most part, with the exception of Nvidia and a handful of others, are pretty much out of the way. It really comes down for us as far as how do we play this? How do we set up? How do we attack? And then going through the charts today, it's just like, oh, that's we're extended. And then looking at the charts again, it's like, oh, well, they did give us a little bit of a pullback, right?
A little bit.
A little bit of pullback, just a little bit. So for me, I really don't have a whole lot today, man. It's like I thought Bender was going to be back. He'll be back later this afternoon, and we can get back to business as usual. We do not have Sunny, um, but what I can say is today is going to be a fairly cautious day trading for me. Fairly cautious. Um, After last week, I don't need to do a whole hell of a lot between now and the end of the year to feel good. So I have to continue to remind myself that, what am I fighting for? And it's certainly not to dig out of a hole, it's to maintain and grow. So maintaining and growing what I have to wait for the right setups. And right now, I don't even know what the hell to do with this setup. I just really, really don't. I have no idea what to do with it. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, we can look at some charts. I think that's always a good mindset to have. It's like we've maybe talked about it a little bit before. We
Mm-hmm.
get the opportunity to do nothing if needed. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a good mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, let's jump into some stuff here. We can go through, what Sonny would usually talk about and do the dark pools. We'll do the news, and then we can jump into this chart over here.
Cool.
Let's see. Um, Murder Plane says they're expecting their fleet in the Middle East to double by 2042. Uh, Tesla's going to sue you if you sell your Cybertruck within the first year. Interesting. I saw a Cybertruck on the road the other day. I haven't seen it
And
yet,
what did
but
you say to yourself?
I looked at these guys. They were like getting something out of the back, and I looked at them, and I was like, these look like guys that want to be like, look at my cool truck, but then you look at it, and you're just like, really, like what? It's like something out of a video game. I don't know. It had dirt on it, and in my head, I was like, is that real dirt, or did you
Is it
guys like?
real dirt? Do they just go to Home Depot and buy some topsoil and throw it all over the car?
That that was what was going through my head.
Interesting. No, very good. All right. Well,
Yeah,
why don't you do a walk for us and we'll strike up a conversation as we go.
there you go. Any good upgrades, downgrades? Crowd strike was upgraded to a 230 price target, and Upstart downgraded. I set an alert on Upstart. It's got some interesting levels. Affirm upgraded. We saw them get the what was it? Buy now, pay later through Amazon. That was a nice mover on that one. All right, let's do charts. Okay, that's enough of that stuff. Let's see. All right, so here we got the ES on the daily. We've got above orange boxes are going to be weekly gaps. So let's just look at those really quick. We've got this candle's high to that candle's low potential, and then we've got this candle's low to that candle's high, the weekly fair value gaps in the orange boxes. Yellow boxes are going to be daily gaps. We've got this trend line we're up against. We'll see if this, this could be the pause spot. We've, rejection. We're here. Let's drill down a little bit further. Let's see. We left some stuff behind that looks like on this overnight run up. We've got this gap here and a lot of stops here is interesting. This could be something on watch if we're gonna, take out these guys. But then if we do, then we've got this hourly gap as well on there. So that could be something important to keep an eye on. So if we get down to this, what's that going to be? This 4406.25 is the bottom of this gap. These guys would then be stopped out. So that'll be a good spot to keep an eye on, and then we'll see if we have to come down and fill this in here on the hourly. So then that would give us room down to 4393 here on the ES. And yeah, we paused right on that trend line, and maybe even a little bit of a double top look to it. We'll see what we get. Let's see. And then we had, this was kind of the double bottom that we were waiting on the sweep yesterday. Stopped those guys out. That made a nice little run. Now it looks like we've got another, if we came all the way down, we've got another double bottom type of thing over there. So if we really need to make a strong push to the downside, this could be an interesting spot. See what they do with it down there at that 43.54.25 on the ES. Let's check out what the Nasdaq's looking like. Let's see, kind of similar. I guess I don't have all the markup on this one. Let's check. Oh yeah, let's jump over to the December contract on the Nasdaq. Let's try this again. There we go. Yeah, so the Nasdaq kind of looks like we popped the trend line already of the big flag. Here I've got this candle marked up as a possible bearish order block. Last up close candle before a big rip to the downside, which would mean we draw fibs on it, and then we look at the 0.5 fib, and you can see that was kind of right where we went. So if we're going to be moving up on the Nasdaq, I think this 15,622.25, the midpoint of this candle here, is going to be important. Similarly, if we're going to say, okay, well, that was the one to the upside, what's this one below look like? Where would be the bullish order block below would potentially be this guy. So if we're going to come back down, I think we'd want to keep an eye, if this was going to be a bullish order block, a down close candle for a nice pop, we would want to keep on watch that 15,305.75. Otherwise, we've got this daily gap in yellow, this candle's high to that. So if we come back down, first stop, before we're looking at this order block, I'd be looking to see what we get here at 15,470. See if we drill down further, see if we've got anything else. Yeah, similar here on the ES. We've got stop sitting down here, and then we've got this bigger gap here. We made a nice little push. So if we come back down, I'll be looking to see what we get here. So we've got a bunch of key levels below here on the Nasdaq, above as well. We've got, this is the midpoint of that order block. Stops, daily fair value gap. So these will be some of the levels I'll be looking at over here on the Nasdaq. Let's see, what else do we want to take a look at? We can take a look at the dollar, maybe.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea.
All right, yeah, let's check out the dollar. So this is a busy chart as well. I'm thinking there's a lot of this stuff above that we'll talk through that I would be looking for the dollar to stall out. I'm starting to lean bearish on dollar and bull commodities moving into this week. And we'll kind of talk through that. Let's see. So we've got above some of the things that I would be looking for the dollar to stall out on up here. If this was going to be a bearish order block, a green candle before a sell, we'll look at the midpoint. We've got this daily gap as well as a volume gap here, this pink box. There's just no trading in that area. So if we do push up into that, maybe we need to close the candle, but I could see us kind of stalling out with, we've got a potential bearish order block here. We've got this gap to fill. And then that's kind of, I could see that thing slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see kind of what we get on the dollar. Obviously, inflation data this week, but technically, based on the chart, I think the dollar could be running out of room to the upside here pretty soon. Downside, we've got orange boxes, can be weekly gaps. We've got this daily gap below. So I think if we push a little bit further to the upside, we could stall out here over on the dollar. Let's see. What else? What else do we want to look at? We got a little bit of time. What are you thinking? Anything you're watching?
Why don't you check out Tesla?
Yeah, let's check out Tesla. So Tesla's interesting this week. We've got a weekly inside bar on Tesla. Let's see. So I went way back, and this 217.50. I think this is going to be important if we push to the upside. You can see just right on the chart. It's like this is definitely a key level. We've currently lost it at the moment. 217.50. We kind of, let's see. So we've got this rising setup, but you could also say, well, what is this, like a left shoulder head, right shoulder kind of thing? I think this 217.50 is going to be important. Let's see, has some dark pools. I think here we go. Dark pools on Tesla. So if we can't get back up and over 217.50, I'm going to be looking at this 208.50, and then if that gives up, then it's like we're looking for maybe 200 round number psych level.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what we get in the flow, but I don't know. The fast money last week was pretty down on Tesla. They brought out all the bears, of course, but I don't know. What's your take? What are you thinking?
I honestly, from a chart standpoint, I don't know what to say. It has lagged pretty much anybody and everybody off the bottom, which, I'm not real sure what to think of the lag. I know that the environment isn't great for it, individually from the business standpoint, but I also know that it depends on what your time frame is overall. Because if rates have peaked, there's a decent shot that we can make a move higher going into first quarter of next year. But I'm not really sure how to play it all out. I know Elon is on the very last nerve of anybody and everybody, especially the shareholders. It's like literally on the last nerve, and I don't know that he gives a shit either way.
Yeah, he's always on his own.
It's gotten worse. As somebody who's been hanging for years, it's like it has definitely gotten his shenaniganery, his need to do anything and everything but build cars is it's challenging as a shareholder. I can say that for sure.
Yeah, I think it's like, I don't know, that we go in these waves of EV hype, but then like when you think about it, it's like I don't have one, and I gotta go do this 6-hour drive to my parents' house for Thanksgiving. Do I really want to add 2 hours to that because I need to charge my Tesla? It's like,
well, I think some of that is going to be as the technology advances, all of a sudden you're not going to have to do that.
yeah,
And it's waiting for that technology to advance. Look, we didn't buy a Tesla when we were looking. We were close, but we didn't buy one. and pretty much the same reason. We travel a lot by car, and that definitely, if you're okay with, smelling the roses and daisies and all that kind of bullshit, it's fine. But if you're not okay with it, then yeah, not so fine.
Right. Yeah, I think maybe someday, they'll get something where it's like you just pull up and grab a different battery or something, and that thing's full. But today, it's like, no, I don't know. Yeah, we'll be watching Tesla flow, and we'll just see what they do with this 21750. At least on the chart, I'm not crazy about it for more upside from here. So we'll see what
Now,
we
people
get.
are wildly short on Tesla. That is apparent. There is an intraday explosion of puts that'll come in on any type of a high. So people are still very, very bearish on it. I don't know how that plays out over the coming months with data and everything else, but I do know that, there are some folks that are not real happy and are smacking it with puts. So I don't have anything else, Stonk. You got anything you want to cover?
I think kind of got most of it. I mentioned I set a bunch of alerts, so we'll see. There were some interesting setups. Um, I think crypto. I like crypto to keep going. Um, See what they're going to do with Riot here. If you look at the weekly, we could maybe be working on some kind of head and shoulders, but we could have room to the upside. Up into this like 1460 before we really are ready for a right shoulder. So we'll see what we get. It keeps popping off those ETF rumors. So we'll kind of see what we get over there. Other than that, yeah, I'll kind of just be looking at flow and levels. We'll call them live in the room.
Very good. All right, bud. Look forward to another week with you, man. Let's have a good one today.
Indeed. Good times.
All right. We have 22 minutes still open. 22 minutes still open. We'll see you soon.
All right. See ya.